J. Cole's about to dominate the hip-hop landscape, and it's not even gonna be close. It all starts Friday, February 6th. After 7 years of teasing the album, the fall off is finally here. You might know J. Cole best as the rapper that went double platinum with no features, but on this project, he wants you to know him as the Unibrowed Unabomber. Things might get explosive. Hopefully he doesn't delete this one this time. You probably know the fall off as the final chapter in J. Cole's legacy. The moment he hangs up the gloves and retires. Even though we think we know how this story ends, there might be a detail that we missed. Because in order to truly understand the fall off and how our story ends, J. Cole wants to take us all the way back to the beginning. January 28th, the day it all started. It is highly likely that J. Cole's birthday gift to all of us will be new music. He's been leaving the clues in front of us this whole time. J. Cole fans know the song January 28th. J. Cole previously posted a roadmap of everything that he was going to accomplish before he retired. As you might know, one of the checkmarks on this journey was a project called It's a Boy. Well, recently we got word from a hip-hop legend that J. Cole might be releasing a new mixtape a week before the fall off. Whistleblower was Jadakiss. He argued that J. Cole would be dropping a project where he strictly rapped over other people's instrumentals. And as a result, the January 28th theory has been picking up steam. But after everything that J. Cole has been through, what will the subject matter of the fall-off be? If I know one thing, it's that this album is going to be about cycles. This is already evident in the lyrics and music video for track 2, disc 2. First rare glimpse at the album showcases a narrative about how J. Cole is progressing through time in reverse. All his triumphs and accomplishments flashing before his eyes before he fades into the abyss. You get to see him speedrun the checkpoints in his life like a video game. He literally watches his son's birth happen in reverse, which to the average observer is a different kind of traumatic. We should be eternally thankful. J. Cole's music video imagery could have been giving birth in reverse. Once you see something like that, you would not be able to get that out of your mind. You can be thankful the imagery was just a room that was zooming in, chronicling different moments of J. Cole's progression. The art of subtlety is a lost art, so this could have been bad. Side note, one time I was attending this health class in college. The teacher was like, "Who wants to see someone give birth?" The entire lecture hall protested. Then she was like, "Oh, not right now? Okay." And then she just jump scared us with full hoo-ha. And the projector slide was massive. It was like a movie theater. Everyone in that room was Gen Z and knew that they didn't have the resources to start a family. But this was the final nail in the coffin. Anyone wants to understand why our species went extinct? One of the miniature variables would be the health class I attended. But now back to the story of J. Cole. From these visceral descriptions, I can anticipate that this album is going to be a literary odyssey. But J. Cole is the one spamming the rewind button like he's trying to watch a Netflix program from the beginning. But as I said, this is J. Cole documenting his life cycle.
Everything is supposed to go away eventually.
The trailer for The Fall Off talks about the cyclical nature of how things happen. I expect J. Cole to explore this topic more deeply. Curious to hear what new insights he has learned from his journey, because this man has done it all. He was signed to one of the most iconic rappers in music history. After years of pure grit and determination, he made it big in the mainstream. After initially imitating the styles of Nas and Eminem to help find his own voice, J. Cole crashed into the mainstream, left an impact on the culture that might never be forgotten. He's one of the godfathers of modern rap. Without leaning too heavily on his influences, he carved his own lane. But through it all, it was actually his humility that made him stand out from the flock. His vulnerability was what made him relatable to the masses. With the help of his narrative world building, he could help capture the perspective of an adolescent boy struggling with the temptations of youth. How various vices shaped him into the person we know him as today. How discipline and hard work are part of his recipe for success. Something that always stood out to me about J. Cole is how he is able to personify emotions. He was able to paint such vivid pictures with his words that it almost felt like you were there in the room. On a song like Wet Dreams, you are forced into the mind of a horny teenage child. And if this painfully uncomfortable song isn't something that you're willing to accept, it's hard to discredit it as an authentic lived experience. Same with the song Lost Ones. In that moment, when you're listening to that song that alternates between different perspectives, you are the one having a pregnancy scare. You are weighing the consequences of a decision that will impact the trajectory of the rest of your life. Jermaine's artistry is heartfelt, it's passionate, it's concise, yet weirdly thorough. As I described before, the album The Fall Off is about falling off. Whenever any great talent ascends to unforeseen heights, it is inevitable that they will come crashing down. Whether through poor decision making or sheer circumstance, Everything in life has an expiration date. Grappling with this reality is almost unconscionable. J. Cole has often compared himself to Simba from The Lion King, young ruler with the birthright to the throne, forced to fight through adversity and claim what is rightfully theirs. He has all these songs where he describes himself as young Simba, but even the Lion King is forced to grapple with his inevitable demise. The movie makes a point to emphasize that there is a circle of life. As Simba processes the death of his father Mufasa, one of the themes throughout the movie is that birth and death are just a natural part of life. Stagnation is inevitable. We will return from the ground. We will all be buried by years of history that will follow. Everyone we have ever encountered and touched is only as real as the space dust in the stars. The memories we have will fade wherever the memories go. The book we wrote might burn in that library. At the end of the movie, Simba passes the torch onto his next of kin, ushering in a new era of prosperity. Now, this stardust that we're all made of might spell sex in the sky, but, it's on brand for the circle of life. You know what I'm saying? But there is beauty in the process. There's joy in the pursuit of something greater. The learning and the setbacks make you who you are. As J. Cole said, there is beauty in the struggle.